What's up, guys? Tim Little. Welcome back to Tactical Bass. In today's video, I have my top 5 baits for bass fishing in the month of August. August bass fishing, it can be tough. You know, you have scattered fish, you have higher water temps, you have hotter outside temps, air temps, and you have the most fishing pressure you've had the entire year. But with all that said, with the right baits and the right techniques, August bass fishing can be fun. It can be amazing. You can catch a ton of fish. So today we're going to talk about the top 5 or so baits or techniques that we have a ton of confidence in for producing bites and putting fish in the boat for the month of August. So number one, my number one technique for the month of August is going to be topwater, right? Topwater is not a technique you can throw 12 months out of the year. Yeah, I guess you could throw it 12 months out of the year, but there are often months that you won't even hit water. You'll hit ice, right? Depending on where you are in the country. So a topwater has a window. So August is an amazing time to throw a topwater. All it depends on, are you fishing a fishery that has grass or not? If you're fishing a fishery that has grass, simple, throw a frog. The Spro, the bronze-eye frog, is a lights out frog. It's produced a lot of bites for us throughout the years. Trying to simplify this as much as possible. You guys know that follow the channel for a long time know that we have a whole rabbit hole of frogs and different styles of frogs. But if we had one, if we needed just one, that Spro bronze-eye frog will do the trick. It works extremely well. Now, with that said, the reason I'm not holding up one of those frogs is because I wanted to talk about this frog. Again, trying to simplify. Remember, it's August. These fish have probably just about seen every size, color, walking style of frog there is on the market. These fish are highly pressured. So if you are a guy that's been on an epic frog bite or on a frog bite and it seems like the bite's slowing or the fish are just kind of hitting the bait weird, they're not fully choking it or engulfing it, they're slapping at it, they're just acting funky, start thinking about downsizing your frog and throwing a finesse frog. This is the Jackal Kaera, however you want to say it, but it's a downsized frog. I throw it on 50-pound braid. This is a Zodius 7-1 heavy, so it's not the 7-3 extra heavy X Pride, it's a 7-1 heavy. It throws this smaller, lighter, more finessey frog extremely well, and then having it paired up with that Daiwa Zillion with 50-pound braid, it's an awesome combo. But more importantly, changing up your frogs. I mean, if you're still catching a ton of frogfish a day, getting a ton of blowups, don't change anything. Ride that horse off into the sunset. But if you find yourself getting less and less bites, go to a smaller, more finessey frog. I like the Gavacho. It's a little bit, it's a poppin' frog. It's a little bit larger than this guy. And then obviously this guy right here, that little Kaera, is an awesome little finessey frog. Now, if you're a fisherman that doesn't have grass, we're talking walking baits. Right now, especially towards the end of August, when we start seeing those cooler nights starting to kind of sneak in, right? Every once in a while, we'll have like some breeze, or it just feels a little bit cooler. You start kind of thinking about maybe putting on a hoodie, or, I mean, it is still August, it's hot, right? But you start kind of thinking about that fall transition. The fish do the exact same thing. Now they're back up schooling on bait. You know, for July, the beginning of August, those fish are they're deep, they're shallow in the grass, they're not doing a ton of chasing, but towards the end of the month, when things start, those cooler nights start they might happen, these fish start schooling up. They start getting on those big bait balls again, and a lot of times you could have a ton of fun throwing a walking bait out there to schooling fish, right? That This is the Jowler by Rapula. This is a cool little topwater bait. We've talked about it a couple times this year. Comes with great hooks on it. But this is a 127 size. So a little bit, it's a full size walking bait, right? If you can get away with that and they're still eating it, that thing is money. Two other ones for you. If you need to start downsizing, you guys know how much we love the shower blows, the SB 105. A little bit smaller than that 127 size Jowler. This is a bait. What I like about this bait is it's still heavy enough, even though it's a downsized bait, it's still heavy enough that I could send this thing a long ways. It's one of the farthest casting topwater baits that I own. So when those fish come up schooling out of range, having that little bit heavier topwater allows you to cast just a little bit further. And then of course that shower blows, they just straight up smoke it. And then on the flip side, just like that frog we talked about, there are days when these fish want a finesse topwater, and you can't beat, as far as finesse, you can't beat that Giant Dog X by Megabass. You know, if it's slick calm, there's not a ripple on the water, or the fish are just eating that, they're slapping at that jowler or the shower blows, they might be getting one hook, or they're not crushing it. Throwing something a little bit quieter, a little bit more finessey. Again, these fish have seen a lot of baits throughout the 8 months of the year, right? So switching it up, throwing something a little bit quieter, a little bit more subtle, but still getting those topwater bites, that guy right there is a must. All right, number 2 bait for us for the month of August is going to be a soft plastic jerkbait, because they are so versatile. Now, just like the topwater, grass or no grass, they work extremely well. So 2 baits I have for you. Obviously the tried and true, the Zoom Super Fluke. That thing is awesome. It's a little bit more dense than the other bait we're going to talk about, but if you're a guy that's fishing around, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're fishing shallow or deep, but if you're fishing around grass and you're using like a super line hook, a stout hook, you could throw it on straight braid, you could throw braid to leader, but you're fishing shallow, you're fishing around stuff, this thing works like a erratic bait fish, skipping all over. You can throw it like a topwater, you can walk it over the tops of the grass, you can do all sorts of things with a fluke, especially in the grass. Now, on the flip side, if you're a reservoir fisherman and you're not around the grass, hopefully you guys have seen our fluke rigging videos where we talk about putting an owner centering pin in the face and then using your favorite drop shot hook or a finesse wide gap hook in the face of that. And then again, just like we talked about with the topwater, those schooling fish, being able to throw a soft plastic jerk bait out to those schooling fish and get those things reacting to your bait is so much fun. But a fluke is an awesome, awesome bait because it is so versatile. You can fish shallow, you can fish deep, you can fish grass, you can fish crystal clear water with it. But a fluke is awesome this time of the year all the way through fall. The other bait that I want to talk about is this guy right here, the Whiplash Shad from X Zone. It is it's a soft plastic jerk bait, but it is so much more soft than the fluke. This thing has what I like to call or refer to it as the Senko shimmy on the fall. It does that shimmy, which is amazing. But when you pop and this thing real wide glide and you kill it, it kind of does this like slow kind of death spiral swim, which can be lights out. Again, this will work good on a super line hook Texas rig weedless, or with that centering pin and your favorite finesse wide gap or drop shot hook out in open water for schooling fish. But a jerk bait, having those directional changes and being able to be weedless and get this thing in and around where these fish are blowing up, whether it's in grass or in open water, and then being able to get this thing dancing all over the place, darting all over the place, the fish just engulf them. So a soft plastic jerkbait is my number 2 bait. All right, number 3. We're gonna ride this train, right? Grass or no grass. Number 3, it's going to be some kind of underspin. I don't care what kind of swim bait you're throwing this time of the year, as these fish get keyed back up on bait balls and shad, threadfin shad, gizzard shad, silver sides, whatever it may be, having a blade attached is a must. Yes, you can catch them without the blade, but you're gonna have so much more action having that flash, having that vibration. Now, 2 different heads for you. If you got grass, go with the Owner Flashy Swimmer, okay? It is a weedless presentation, just like the Frog, just like the Fluke or the soft plastic jerkbait. You can fish this thing in, around, and through the grass. Still having that thump of the blade, that flash of the blade. That is a killer presentation. Along grass edges, skipping it up under overhangs. These fish are gonna be in the deepest, darkest shade pockets of your fishery. They're gonna be in the deepest, thickest, nastiest, gnarliest grass of your fishery. Being weedless is the difference between getting hung up and having a super frustrated day as opposed to catching a ton of fish. So having that's that X-Zone swammer. That's that 4-inch size. You can go with a little bit larger if you want, but that is a 5/0 Owner Flashy swimmer hook, and that pair right there is an awesome combo. On the flip side, if you're a reservoir fisherman or you're a guy that doesn't have a lot of grass, that guy right there is lights out. That is our tactical mini underspin head. Again, Matt and I designed that a few years ago. Longer drop arm, cool colors, but an HD hook. This is something you can throw on a bait caster. It's something you can throw on heavier line, and you don't have to worry about bending out that HD hook. Paired up with this guy right here. This is the Crush City Mayor 3-inch. That thing is an awesome shad profile, durable, great swimming swim bait. Okay, that is a match that is perfect for this time of the year. Okay, so if I'm fishing around grass, I'm throwing something weedless. If I'm fishing out away offshore, deeper water, not around grass, I'm going with that exposed hook. And again, I'm adding some flash, I'm adding some vibration, and I'm catching a lot more fish. If you really need to downsize, you can go, this is a little tiny 2.75 swammer. Little 2.8 Kitech works great too. That's also our little underspin head. But whether you want to throw it on a bait finesse setup or a spinning rod setup, that guy right there, a little finesse flashy swimmer, will catch just about everything that swims in your body of water. All right, that's number 3. Number 4, how could you do an August fishing video without talking about a deep diving crankbait? Now, I just did a crankbait video just a couple weeks back, and I just talked about all the different crankbaits I like to throw, the month of July, summertime. We talked about bright colors, loud baits. But now that we're talking about August, now is when I'm gonna kind of pull back the reins a little bit. I'm going more natural colors. I'm going less subdued, or more subdued colors. I'm going more natural colors, not as loud or vibrant crankbaits. That Rapula DT16 is lights out this time of the year and all the way through fall. You guys, we love our crankbait we designed, the Tactical DD, but that guy right there is a must this time of the year, and that is a killer color as well. Just like every video, I'll link all of these products we're talking about today down below in the video description, where you can click on them and go see HD pictures, get all the details, the specs, all that stuff on the baits, the hooks, the colors of worms, the swim baits, all that good stuff. But a crankbait, a lot of these fish go deep, and being able to fish from that 12 to 20 foot range, whether it's ledge fishing or offshore main lake point fishing or rock pile fishing, a crankbait, you can key into that fish's core predatory instinct. And when you get that deflection of that bait bouncing off a rock or a shell bed or a piece of wood or something, that fish has to eat. That cat and mouse game, when they have to react to that thing going fast by them and then changing the direction, being able to tap into how that fish is hardwired and get that fish to eat, a crankbait is probably the #1 bait to do it. And it is an awesome, awesome bait to throw all the way through fall. All right, 2 more baits for you. I think that'll be 6 total, but I want to do 2 different finesse techniques for you, because everything we've talked about so far has been reaction. And we all know that there are days when you can't buy a bite on Topwater or a crankbait or whatever, right? So if you need to slow down, or if you're a fisherman that only fishes finesse techniques, I wanted to give you a couple baits as well. Number 1, I guess this would be number 5, a Texas rig creature bait. More importantly, an unpegged Texas rig creature bait, okay? We've talked about it already. These fish have seen every shaky head, every ribbon tail worm, every creature bait. The dock that you're fishing, these fish are like, yep, that's a green pumpkin. Yep, that's June bug, right? They know what, they've seen it all. So, couple things. Downsizing your creature bait. This is actually the Baby Destroyer by Missile Baits. It's a smaller profiled creature bait. Real subtle action on the tentacles. I mean, it swims extremely well, but it's a smaller presentation. You can get away with a lighter line hook, lighter line on your reel, but having that unpegged weight lets this thing fall a lot slower. It's a lot like the free rig, right? Where you take your favorite drop shot weight and you put it ahead of your bait. That bait hits first, or the weight hits first, and then this bait just slowly, subtly swims down to the bottom. But having that lighter wire hook, lighter line, more finessey presentation, take your favorite creature bait, and if it's available, get a downsized version. So maybe a baby brush hog, but this guy right here is my favorite, the Baby Destroyer. That thing works extremely well. And the key is not pegging that weight. For a lot of the summer, I'm pegging that weight, right? I want that bait connected to that weight. I want it to, that weight to pull that bait down through that grass or down through that brush pile, whatever it may be. But right now, these fish have seen it all. I want to give that thing a slower fall, a slower profile, a different swim that they haven't necessarily seen as much. All right, last but not least, a drop shot. You know, it was a decision. It's like, do I go shaky head? Do I go Texas rig, peg Texas rig, Carolina rig? But you know what, guys? I'm going with a drop shot. A drop shot is so versatile. You can throw it on a spinning rod. You can throw it on a power shot, a bait caster. You can throw heavier line, lighter line. But all in all, you're suspending that bait up off of bottom, and you're putting that fish in, that bait in that fish's face. And there's just something to be said about suspending that bait up off of bottom. These fish have seen just about every Carolina rig there is, just about every jig or Texas rig or shaky head there is. Being able to suspend this up off bottom, it's just a different presentation and has worked extremely well for me all summer long. I love that Missile Magic Worm. That thing is great. Here you go right here. Junebug Dream. Blueback Secret are 2 great colors, especially if you're in clear water. This right here is a Robo Worm, Margarita Mutilator 3. This thing is awesome. Specifically, I want to talk about this combo for a second. I'm going to read you this. This is the Abu Garcia Xenon. It's in their Xenon line, however you want to pronounce it. This is a 7'1" medium fast paired up with a Xenon MGX. So super high quality combo. This thing is feather feels like a feather in the hand. It is so light, but I've caught so many fish on this exact setup this summer, just fishing this drop shot around tule patches, around cattails, around grass edges. So I had to go with a drop shot over the shaky head. This year I've had so many more fish catches on the drop shot, on the power shot, I should say. Bait caster, braid 2-liter, Texas rig. I can fish this in the grass, around the grass, in the brush pile, through the brush pile. It is so versatile, but this combo right here is so light and so sensitive. It's been so much fun to fish all summer long. But a drop shot, it's a soft plastic worm. Take your favorite 6-inch bait, rig it on a drop shot, rig it Texas rig weedless if you need to, if you're around that stuff, and you will catch a ton of fish. But guys, that is my lineup for the month of August. These baits right here will put fish in the boat. Down below in the video description, I'll be sure to link all the stuff we talked about, all the way down to the weights, the hooks, the colors of worms, the hook upgrades if there's room for the crankbaits, the frog, the braid, all that good stuff will be down below in the video description. You can click on the links, it goes right to Tackle Warehouse. You'll be able to see those HD pictures and get the specifications on all the stuff I just mentioned. But guys, this lineup right here is killer, and it works extremely well right now all the way through the month of August. Guys, if you have any questions, please leave those down below in the comment section. I'll try to get to those as soon as possible. But as always, we appreciate the support. Thank you for watching. If you learned something from this video or you like this video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys on the next video.